Imagine sitting down to work, fully motivated, telling yourself, all right, time to focus. 5 minutes later, you check your phone. 10 minutes later, you're scrolling through social media. Before you know it, an hour has passed and you've barely made any progress. Sound familiar? It's not just you. Staying focused for long hours feels impossible because we're constantly bombarded by distractions. But what if I told you that the problem isn't your willpower, it's your brain chemistry? And once you learn how to hack it, you can focus for hours without feeling drained. Here's the truth. Focus isn't about forcing yourself to concentrate. It's about creating the right conditions for deep work. And right now, your brain is fighting against you. Why? Because of dopamine addiction. Every time you switch tasks, check your phone, open a new tab, glance at a notification, you get a tiny dopamine hit. Your brain loves it. It learns that distractions equals pleasure. So even when you want to focus, your brain keeps craving the next hit. That's why staying focused for long hours feels exhausting. It's like fighting against your own biology. But here's the shocking twist. People who stay focused for hours don't have superhuman willpower. They've simply rewired their brains to work with them instead of against them. And you can do the same. The secret? Controlling dopamine, mastering mental energy, and using focus triggers. Let's break it down. First, let's talk about dopamine detoxing, a method used by peak performers to reset their focus levels. If your brain is overloaded with dopamine from TikTok, YouTube, and constant notifications, trying to focus is like trying to run a marathon after eating 10 donuts. You might start strong, but you'll crash hard. The key is reducing unnatural dopamine spikes before you need to focus. Here's how. Step 1. Turn off high dopamine distractions 30 minutes before deep work. That means no social media, no unnecessary notifications, no mindless scrolling. This tells your brain, hey, focus mode is coming. Within just 30 minutes, your mind starts craving real, meaningful work instead of distractions. Step 2. Use a focus trigger to train your brain. Your brain loves patterns. If you create a specific routine before deep work, your brain will recognize it as a signal to focus. It could be something as simple as drinking a certain tea, listening to a specific instrumental playlist, or sitting in a designated focus spot. Over time, these triggers automatically put your brain into deep focus mode. No willpower needed. Step 3. The 10-minute rule. Most distractions happen in the first 10 minutes of a work session. If you can push through that initial urge to check your phone, your brain stops craving it. Here's a simple trick. Set a timer for just 10 minutes. Tell yourself, I only need to focus for 10 minutes. Once that timer goes off, you'll notice something crazy. You actually want to keep working. That's because your brain has switched into flow state. But focus isn't just about avoiding distractions. It's about managing energy. If you've ever felt mentally exhausted after working for long hours, that's because you're burning through your brain's fuel too quickly. High performers don't just work harder, they work smarter. They use strategic breaks, movement, and even lighting adjustments to maintain focus without burnout. And in the next section, I'll show you how to extend your focus stamina so you can stay productive for hours without feeling drained. Now that you've started rewiring your brain for deep focus, let's talk about the real game changer, how to sustain your concentration for hours without getting mentally exhausted. See, most people think focus is all about grinding, just sitting down and forcing yourself to work. But that's the biggest mistake you can make. High performers don't just sit down and hope for the best. They engineer their environment to keep their focus levels high effortlessly. And there's a secret formula to make it happen. Think of your focus like battery life. When you wake up, you have a full charge. But every little distraction, every tiny mental switch, every time you pause to think about something else, you drain that battery. That's why you can start your day full of energy, but feel like a zombie by 2 p.m. The trick isn't just to focus. It's to manage your mental energy so your brain stays sharp for hours. Let's break it down step by step. First, you need to eliminate focus killers before they destroy your productivity. You already know that distractions like social media and notifications are bad, but did you know there's an even bigger hidden enemy? It's called background cognitive load. This happens when your brain is processing information you're not even aware of. cluttered desks, messy surroundings, even having too many open tabs. These things silently drain your focus. Your brain is constantly scanning for patterns, meaning every little piece of clutter steals a bit of your concentration. Solution? Declutter your workspace before deep work. Even a quick 30-second desk reset can give you an instant focus boost. Next, let's talk about the power of lighting. You ever notice how some places make you feel alert while others make you feel sleepy? That's not random, it's science. Bright, cool-toned light, like natural daylight or LED white light, triggers wakefulness in your brain. On the flip side, dim, warm lighting makes your brain relax. If you're working under warm, yellow light, your focus will suffer. The fix? Switch to cool white or blue light during work sessions. This hacks your circadian rhythm, keeping you in a peak mental state for longer. Now here's where things get really interesting. Strategic movement. If you've ever worked for hours and felt your brain turn to mush, it's because your body is stuck in energy-saving mode. When you stay still for too long, blood flow to your brain slows down and your focus tanks. But here's the hack. Micro movements. Instead of waiting until you feel exhausted, train yourself to do a 5-second reset every 25 minutes. Stretch your arms, roll your shoulders, or even stand up for a few seconds. This keeps oxygen flowing to your brain and instantly recharges your concentration. Another pro-level hack? Caffeine cycling. Now, you might think coffee is the solution to all focus problems, but here's the shocking truth. If you drink caffeine the wrong way, it actually makes you more tired. See, caffeine works by blocking adenosine, the chemical that makes you sleepy. But if you drink it first thing in the morning, your body compensates by producing more adenosine later, meaning you crash hard in the afternoon. The fix? Delay your first coffee by 90 minutes after waking up. This allows your natural wake-up hormones to kick in first, making caffeine work better and longer. But even with the best setup, no one can focus indefinitely. That's why timing your work sessions correctly is the key to hours of peak performance without burning out. And in the next section, I'll show you the focus schedule used by elite performers to get more done in a single day than most people do in a week. Alright, now that you've got your environment and energy levels optimized, let's unlock the final piece, your deep work schedule. Because let's be real, it's not just about how long you focus, but when and how you focus. If you get this part right, you can work for hours without even feeling like you're working. And the best part? You'll get twice as much done in less time without feeling burned out. Here's where most people mess up. They sit down, try to work for as long as possible, and wait until exhaustion kicks in before taking a break. That's a recipe for disaster. Your brain doesn't work like that. If you push past your natural focus limit, your productivity plummets. It's like running a marathon at sprint speed. You'll burn out fast. The solution? The ultradian rhythm method. Ever wonder why some days you can focus effortlessly and other days your brain just refuses to cooperate? That's because your brain operates in 90-minute cycles. During each cycle, you have a peak energy window where your focus is sharp, followed by a natural dip where your brain needs recovery. Ignoring this cycle leads to mental fatigue, brain fog, and lack of motivation. But if you work with your brain's natural rhythm, you can sustain peak performance for hours without crashing. Here's how to do it. 1. Work in 90-minute focus blocks. Instead of forcing yourself to grind for hours, break your deep work into 90-minute hyper-focus sessions. During this time, eliminate all distractions. Phone on silent, notifications off, and work in full screen mode so nothing steals your attention. 2. Take 20 to 30-minute recovery breaks. After each 90-minute focus block, take a real break. Not scrolling on your phone, but something that actively restores your brain. Walk around, do some stretching, get sunlight, or even listen to instrumental music. This recharges your cognitive energy so you're ready for the next session. 3. Schedule your deep work in the morning. Your brain is naturally most alert and creative within the first 4 to 5 hours after waking up. This is prime time for intense, focused work. So instead of wasting your peak mental energy on emails or social media, tackle your hardest tasks first. 4. Stack your work blocks strategically. If you have multiple deep work sessions in a day, don't stack them back to back. Instead, allow a 60-minute gap between each major session. Use this time for shallow work like answering messages, handling small tasks, or doing physical movement to reset your focus. Now let's take this even further. There's another game-changing technique that can 10x your focus. It's called pre-work visualization. Every top performer, from athletes to entrepreneurs, uses it, yet almost no one talks about it when it comes to productivity. Here's how it works. Before you start a focus session, take 30 seconds to mentally rehearse the task. Close your eyes and visualize yourself sitting down, eliminating distractions, and getting straight into the zone. This primes your brain for deep focus and makes it easier to get started. Studies show that visualizing yourself performing a task activates the same brain regions as actually doing it. It's like tricking your brain into focus mode before you even begin. But here's the final pro move: setting a focus trigger. Think about it. When you hear a specific song, smell a certain scent, or walk into a familiar space, your brain automatically recalls past experiences. You can use this to your advantage by creating a ritual that signals it's focus time. Wear blue light blocking glasses before deep work, light a specific candle or essential oil, play the same background sound, like white noise or nature sounds, every time you work. Over time, your brain will associate this trigger with intense focus, making it easier to drop into flow state instantly. Now imagine if you stacked all of these hacks together. 90-minute deep work blocks, strategic breaks, caffeine cycling, pre-work visualization, focus triggers. This isn't just productivity, this is mental mastery. And in the next section, I'll show you how to train your brain to stay focused even when you feel tired or unmotivated. Because the truth is, motivation will fail you, but if you build the right mental habits, you'll never struggle to focus again. All right, now that you've got your deep work schedule locked in, let's address the biggest killer of focus: mental fatigue. Even with the best routine, if your brain gets exhausted too quickly, you'll struggle to maintain focus for long periods. So, what's the solution? Cognitive energy management. Think about it. Your brain is like a battery. Every task you do throughout the day drains it. The problem? Most people waste their mental energy on low-value distractions before even getting to their most important work. By the time they need to focus, their brain is already depleted. If you want to stay focused for hours without burning out, you need to protect your brain's energy like it's your most valuable asset. Here's how. 1. Avoid decision fatigue. Have you ever noticed that by the end of the day, it's harder to make decisions? That's because every choice you make, even small ones like what to eat, what to wear, or which email to answer, drains your mental energy. The more decisions you make, the less energy you have for deep focus. The fix? Eliminate unnecessary decisions. Wear the same outfit or rotate between a few pre-planned options. Eat the same breakfast every day or meal prep in advance. Use a preset morning routine so you don't waste time deciding what to do first. The less mental energy you spend on irrelevant choices, the more you'll have for your deepest, most important work. 2. Fuel your brain the right way. Most people rely on sugar and caffeine spikes to keep them going, but that's a huge mistake. These give you short bursts of focus, but they lead to energy crashes that kill your productivity. Instead, you want stable, long-lasting energy. Start your day with protein and healthy fats instead of sugar-heavy breakfasts. Stay hydrated. Even a 2% drop in hydration can reduce focus and memory. If you drink caffeine, time it right. Have it 90 minutes after waking up to avoid a midday crash. 3. Control your environment. Your focus isn't just about your mindset, it's about your surroundings. If your workspace is full of distractions, your brain will struggle to stay locked in. Here's how to build a distraction-free focus zone. Remove visual clutter. A messy space equals a messy mind. Keep your desk minimalist with only the essentials. Use noise control. If you can't get silence, use noise-canceling headphones or play ambient background sounds to block out distractions. Set up lighting for peak alertness. Bright, cool-toned light boosts focus, while warm, dim lighting makes you sleepy. If you work at night, use a blue light filter to avoid eye strain. 4. Leverage the 99-1 rule for focus. Here's a powerful trick almost nobody knows about. It's called the 99-1 rule, and it's designed to help you get maximum focus time out of every single day. Here's how it works. 90 minutes of deep, uninterrupted work, 9 minutes of strategic break time, not social media, something that resets your brain, 1 minute reset before starting the next session. Close your eyes, take deep breaths, and mentally prepare. This trains your brain to operate in high-intensity, high-efficiency cycles, making it easier to stay focused without mental exhaustion. 5. Optimize your body for sustained focus. Your posture, breathing, and movement all play a role in your ability to concentrate. If you're slouched over, breathing shallowly, and sitting in one position for hours, your brain stagnates. Fix this by sitting in a neutral spine position with shoulders relaxed. Practicing deep belly breathing, oxygen fuels cognitive function. Taking movement breaks every 60 minutes to reset circulation. Bonus hack, the focus reset button trick. If you ever feel your attention slipping, do this. Stand up, stretch, take 3 deep breaths, and count down from 5. This resets your brain and brings your focus back instantly. And now, the final piece. What if you could train your brain to get into flow state on demand? In the next section, I'll show you the mental hacks that top performers use to stay locked in for hours, effortlessly. You've set up your environment, optimized your energy, and mastered deep work cycles. But there's still one major challenge: staying in flow state for hours without distractions pulling you back. This is the ultimate focus hack used by top performers, elite athletes, and billionaires to achieve insane levels of productivity. It's called neuro-associative conditioning. And when done right, it lets you train your brain to enter peak concentration mode on demand. Here's how to do it. First, you need a mental trigger. Your brain works on associations. If you repeatedly do something specific before working, your mind starts linking it with deep focus. That's why some of the world's highest achievers have pre-work rituals that signal their brain to enter flow state. For example, Stephen King writes every morning after drinking a cup of tea. His brain knows it's time to work. Tim Ferriss listens to the same instrumental music on repeat. It puts him in a trance-like focus mode. Tony Robbins does a breathing exercise before any deep work session. It shifts his physiology instantly. Find your mental trigger, something small but consistent before every focus session. It could be a specific song or playlist, a particular scent, like peppermint oil, which enhances alertness, a 5-minute meditation, a power pose to activate your confidence. The key, use it consistently. Over time, your brain will automatically switch into focus mode whenever you trigger it. Now let's talk about the biggest focus killer, the subconscious habit that ruins your ability to stay locked in. It's called dopamine chasing. Every time you get distracted, whether it's checking your phone, scrolling social media, or switching between tasks, you're feeding your brain quick hits of dopamine. The problem? Your brain gets addicted to low-effort stimulation. This rewires your focus system to crave instant gratification instead of deep work. That's why most people struggle to focus for more than 10 minutes at a time. Their brains have been trained for constant distractions. To rewire your focus, you need to reset your dopamine system.